I'm going to start this video off with a statement that might offend some people. So if you're easily triggered, you can go ahead and click off this video right now. But for those of you who are still here, I'm gonna say it. Success will break you before it builds you. I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous because all you ever hear is how great success feels. You only see pictures of people at the top of the mountain, but you never see the path they took to get there. You don't see the dirt under their fingernails or the blisters on their feet from walking such a long journey. Success isn't always what it seems. It comes with a lot of things that nobody ever tells you. Most people have a very romanticized view of success because they only see the end result. They see the trophies, the celebrations, the pretty girls, the expensive cars, the mansions, but they don't see the blood, sweat, and tears that got them there. They don't see the sacrifice. They don't see the countless failures, the heartbreaks, the lonely nights, the crippling self-doubt, or the relentless pressure to keep pushing even when everything in your mind screams for you to quit. For many years, I had no idea what I was doing. I was clueless. All I knew was that I didn't like where I was in life. I was broke, depressed, and in a dead-end relationship. I felt trapped. And then something inside of me snapped. I went into survival mode. I became obsessed with improving my life. That obsession led me to devour books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, and surround myself with mentors who had accomplished more than I ever had. Through these efforts, I learned that becoming successful meant that I would have to make huge sacrifices, which is something that most people never talk about. You see, success doesn't care whether you're happy or not. It doesn't care whether you've just gotten married or if you have a newborn baby at home. It doesn't care if you're sick or if someone you love has passed away. It doesn't care if you're enjoying your weekend with your family. Success demands total commitment. It asks that you put it above everything else in your life. And if you can't do that, then success will pass you by. When I first started my journey, I was a father of 4 boys with a full-time job and a side business. I didn't have any extra time to give to anything else. But instead of letting that be an excuse, I chose to find ways to do it anyway. I would wake up before the sun came up and start training people in the morning. Then I would take the train to my next job where I worked security. After that, I would work for my company until late at night. On weekends, I would repeat that same process. 7 days a week, I dedicated every waking moment to getting better and making progress, no matter how small. The key is to understand that success requires sacrifice. It's not something you can half-ass. If you want to succeed, you need to be willing to make sacrifices. And if you're not willing to do that, then don't even bother trying. Because success doesn't come to people who aren't fully invested. Now, another thing nobody tells you about success is that it's filled with failure. As you chase your dreams, you'll face numerous obstacles and setbacks. Nobody ever talks about that. They only talk about how great it feels when you hit your goal. But they don't tell you that along the way, you'll experience a lot of pain. You'll make a lot of mistakes, and you'll fail many times. I remember when I first started my online business, I failed for months before I finally made my first sale. It was so frustrating I wanted to quit. But I had made a promise to myself that I wouldn't give up. So I kept pushing. And eventually, my hard work paid off. The reality is that success is just a series of small wins that compound over time. It's not about being the best right out of the gate. It's about learning from your failures and adapting. Most people aren't willing to accept that part of the equation, so they give up when things get tough. I want to ask you something. What are you willing to endure for your dreams? How much pain are you willing to accept? Because success is painful. It's uncomfortable. And if you can't handle that, then you shouldn't even bother trying. Next is loneliness. When you're chasing your dreams, you'll often feel alone. It's a weird thing because you can be surrounded by hundreds of people and still feel completely disconnected. You know, because everyone wants to be successful, but not everyone is willing to pay the price. I remember feeling so isolated when I was working on my goals. It seemed like everyone around me was living their lives, having fun and enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, I was locked in my room grinding away day after day. I felt like I was missing out on life. I felt like I was sacrificing my happiness for something that might never happen. But I pushed through the loneliness because I knew that if I didn't, I'd regret it. I knew that I had a purpose, and that purpose was bigger than my own feelings of isolation. So if you're feeling lonely right now, just know that you're not alone. And if you're willing to endure the loneliness, your dreams will eventually become a reality. Another thing that nobody tells you about success is that it's not what you think it is. Many people have a distorted view of success because they've been brainwashed by society to believe that it means material possessions, fancy cars, or a high social status. But the reality is that success means different things to different people. It's important to define what success means to you. Otherwise, you'll never be able to achieve it. And lastly, let's talk about the pressure. The pressure that comes with success is unlike anything you've ever experienced. When you start achieving your dreams, everyone around you takes notice. People will start to expect big things from you. They'll look up to you and want to know how you did it. And if you're not careful, the pressure of meeting everyone's expectations can cause you to implode. That's why it's so important to have a strong support system. You need people in your corner who will lift you up when you're feeling down and keep you grounded when things get tough. I was lucky enough to have an amazing group of friends and family members who supported me through the entire journey. They were my rock. They were the ones who kept me going when I wanted to quit. So if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to endure all of that. You have to be willing to sacrifice, fail, be lonely, and deal with the pressure. If you're not willing to do that, then don't even bother trying, because success is not easy. And the harsh reality is that most people aren't willing to pay the price. Most people would rather live their lives comfortably without ever knowing what it feels like to truly succeed. But that's okay. This isn't for everyone. However, if you're someone who's willing to make the sacrifice, who's willing to endure the pain and loneliness, who's willing to deal with the pressure, then I have some good news for you. You can have it all. You can have the success, the wealth, the fame, and the happiness that you desire. But it won't be easy. It will require everything you have. It will push you to your limits. It will break you down and rebuild you from scratch. However, if you're willing to be broken, you'll be rebuilt stronger. And that strength will carry you through the rest of your life. It will make you unstoppable. So I ask you again, are you willing to be broken? Are you willing to pay the price? Because success is not for the weak. It's only for the strong, the resilient, and the determined. If that's you, then go after your dreams with everything you have. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is just another excuse to get better. Embrace it. Let it fuel your fire. And if you're willing to endure the pain, I promise you this, success will be yours. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to learn more about how to level up in life, check out some other videos here.